On this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast, it's the Red Dirt Bandit, aka the Turnpike Troubadour.
And Joe goes full Elsa and tells Dean to let it go. Let's do it. To Devil's Trap Podcast. This week we're going to talk about Season 7, Episode 4, Defending Your Life. I'm Diana.
Hi, Liz.
And we were just discussing how fucking hot it is in Texas right now. Not shocking because it is August, but...
Well, and that's, the inferno. And I know we are not the only ones. Like, this is the middle of, a whole bunch of the world is literally on fire. And, so it could be worse. I know 90 million people's air conditioners who have died. And I am just crossing my fingers. And I emailed my new maintenance company, which are not I really miss just having my landlord who was one lady who I'd just be hey, shit's broken. And she's I will get somebody right over. And these people, I'm since they're corporate management, I don't know where things get funneled through. And I was hey, you called and said you were sending out somebody to clean the vents last week. And this AC is not keeping up with the heat. And if you don't clean those vents, that's going to break. And it's going to cost you a lot of money. And I don't want to be here without air conditioning or have to go to my mom's house, which would probably be the other option. Or I would just get a hotel and take the cat with me to a hotel and not tell my mom. But yeah, so it's really hot and gross.
Yeah. I like summer. It's just hot.
This is not summer hot. This is Mordor.
So Liz, what have you been up to?
Well, I just got back from where it was not Mordor. I got back from the other side of the wall. So I was in England for a while. I don't know. I felt like it was a long time. It was great. I went there for a punk rock festival, and along the way did some hunting for Sheila and the Gigs, and got drunk and played in the woods and became a swamp witch.
Like you're meant to.
I think that about sums it up. The festival was Rebellion. It was fantastic. All the bands that were there were great, although Descendants didn't play because Milo had a heart attack. Although they have done, Milo and Bill have done a very funny series I highly recommend on, you can watch it, called Milo Has a Heart Attack. And it's just them in the hospital and what it's like to be a middle-aged man in the hospital after a heart attack, and them going over the hospital bill. It was just fucking hysterical. Yeah. So. And then the Dam didn't play because he heard what's his name's back went out, but which I know is really they were man, he's he goes through everything. What's wow, I don't know what the fuck his name, but I've seen them play a past 2-3 times the past year. So, but it was when they hadn't played England or there in a while. But anyways, it was still the bands were fantastic. There was my favorite anarchist book table was there. I love those guys, and they even had more books than before. And my favorite artist, the one who did, if anyone is you probably see I bet I'm in so many people's Rebellion and punk rock festival things, that I now have the back of my vest that says when you punch a Nazi in the face or whatever. It's basically it's talking about punching Nazis. And the person who illustrated that does a bunch of books for PM Books, and I got a whole bunch of their illustrated books, which made me very happy. I went to a punk rock festival and bought books, but whatever. That's me. Nerd. I'm such a nerd. But yeah, I saw a bunch of nerd panels about books, and Henry Rollins I saw twice, and we were very close, and he was kind of inspiring he always is, and just it's nice to hear people talk about cool intellectual things sometimes. And yeah, so I think that's it. Yeah, probably. I will. There's some things that may actually interject about the trip that I've kind of marked out in today's episode that may be relevant, but we'll see. And what about you?
So I went not nearly as far. I went to Nashville, where we went and saw Trevor Keith from Face to Face. So I got my punk rock in, and he did a little acoustic set and showed his art off. And then we did Nashville country-ish things and saw like some country music. We went and ate at one of Manit, and I'm not going to try to say her last name's restaurants for Indian food. She's on HGTV
Food
Network all the time. Wrong one. Food Network a lot, and then took a 2-step lesson, and then
you're so cliche. Yeah. I agree. And I was like at an English punk rock festival, so I'm also a cliche. Although it was funny, like one of like my social community groups, I guess, of like industry people who are not like people who are like in our world but not our world, like if everyone's, I was like showing this picture of this guy jumping during this band. He was like this like 80-year-old man who was like had like so much energy, and he was like 3 feet tall and was just like, you're so great. But behind him was just like this dude with a really great hawk, and just like we had like the leather jacket that everybody in England has, and like leather pants, but he looked really good. And this chick was just like, oh, that guy's really authentic. And I was like, what the fuck do you think the rest of us are? Like, but also there's like 7, like probably 100 of him, that dude, right? Like, right. I was just like, where do you go? But I was like, maybe our world is different.
It is a little different when you spend time around people in the subculture on the break.
Yeah, but I also like I get a lot. Oh, that's like when I was 20. Like I remember that when I was like a skater. And I'm like, yeah, some of us didn't stop.
It was never
a phase, man. It's a lifestyle. I can't wait to feed this big intro into a chat. Like, if you like put our podcast into like any like sort of AI thing, they just listen to the intro and they think like our show is about like, I don't know, weird punk rock subcultures or other whatever weird shit we talk about. But instead, what it is about supernatural and some slight supernatural news. Before this drops, if we're on the ball this Sunday on August 13th, you can see the Padalecki family on Family Feud. And I just think that's exciting. And I hope everybody watches it. That sounds like a very fun SPN family, like literally SPN family thing to do. So also on those notes, it does just a reminder that next year there will be a creation festival in Austin, and I got an email that said that their expensive gold and whatever packages are almost sold out. So if you buy those really expensive things, go buy them now and they'll be sold out.
Noted.
Commentary on that, but it's like anyway. So okay, but hey, I think we're trying to get like we may be doing something there. I don't know. I think we'll definitely we'll be there.
That's the goal.
Yeah, it's next.
That's the plan. To do something at it is the goal.
So that will be next. Is like over a year from now. It's like August 23rd to August 24th in 2024.
That makes my brain hurt to plan.
Well, I'm just like, is it like, if it's this hot August 10th, 2023, what is August 24th, 2024 going to feel like? We're just like in a puddle on the floor, just being like, Jared, hello.
Help.
I like, don't, and like, there's like, no, like, I don't think they let hugs happen now. Just because there was like, I'm so sweaty, don't touch me. So this episode was originally season 7, episode 4, and it was called Defending Your Life, which is also the title of a 90s movie with Albert Brooks, who used to be a thing. I don't know if he's still alive. I'm not playing that game. But in that one, if you remember that, it's a pretty famous movie. People basically have to defend like their life after they die. Like you're getting judged and like,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and
it sounds very upsetting.
I think it was a comedy. I don't know. It probably wasn't. So basically, you have to like argue like whether or not your existence was worthy, and if it wasn't, then you get recycled and have to go back to Earth and try again or something. Okay. So maybe that's not a comedy. So, all right. And it first aired October 14th, 2011. It was directed by Robert Singer and written by Adam Glass. So we've talked about both of them recently, so we're not going to go into that. And we'll just jump right into this episode where we start with a recap that reminds us that we hate Dean.
Yeah, that Dean betrayed Sam by killing Amy.
We are mad
That's
at
what
him. We are mad at him right now. And I was like, thank you, recap, for reminding me of that.
Reminding us. Yeah, and then we are in Dearborn, Michigan, where a man is being chased. A man on foot is running, being chased by a car, and it appears to be a Pontiac, either Grand Prix or a '97 Pontiac GTP. But
I also just appreciate it was a good car chase scene. Like, I just thought it was very well shot. I
agree.
Yeah, as someone who has been watching the behind the scenes things on the Fast and the Furious, that's all I can think about is like, how did they stage this car scene? Because there's a lot of things it's really fast. They had to make things look like it wasn't wet, but it was very cool.
Mm-hmm. It was, but we get weirdness because the guy escapes to an alley, and then the car's in the alley, which makes no sense, which is impossible. And he runs upstairs to his apartment. The best part is when he's upstairs, he gets in his apartment on the 10th floor, locks the door, and then he sees his breath, and then the car is in his apartment.
It's so great.
Dying.
Yeah,
I was dying.
Well, at first, they started with a noise.
Really. He did.
Yeah, and there's just vroom, and you're like, what? It's like the headlights are there, and then it's just like,
I knew it when he ran up there. I'm like, the car's gonna be in this fucking room. I know it. I know it because it was so ridiculous. It's amazing. But it was, and we get a big splat in the wall.
Pitter patter, blood splatter.
Mm-hmm. So we cut to Sam and Dean dressed as in their FBI suits. And they're on the site trying to go check on this case and they're like, I feel like it's kind of weird, but they're kind of stoked to be working a quote unquote regular case because Bobby's tracking Leviathan stuff.
Yeah, and I get that, right? Where Dean's just like, hey, we've been doing some weird, lots of weird things. Like we don't know, but this is our shit. Like we sort of, right? We think so.
We think so, but Sam stops them to thank him for trusting him and letting Amy go.
Ooh, awkward. Ooh. Yeah, you should feel shitty, Dean. Yep, you should. Okay.
So, but they move on and they go to the room to see where this dude
walk into an active crime scene, which is not being controlled at all.
No one cares.
They're just just stomp through here. We don't care. Just run all over our evidence in Crazy Town, right? And if there was any place where I was like, you know what, I want to preserve this evidence because this is Crazy Town.
It'd be in Crazy Town. Yeah, that's where you want to definitely make sure we preserve this. And we find out that our victim is named Matthew Hammond, and and the detective's like, yeah, if we weren't on the 10th floor, I'd tell you he got hit by a car, but we're on the 10th floor. So. And of course the EMF eater goes nuts, and they're like, oh, well, is it a ghost with a license to kill?
Yuck.
But Sam notices this little bit of red dirt.
At this point, I just start giggling at the red dirt monster.
I've been listening to too much fucking country music lately.
That's where my mind went. That it was just red dirt country. And so I'm like, it's a red dirt country killer. It was like the Turnpike Troubadours coming after you. That
would be a good, monster name. Anyways. So.
That does sound like a ghost, right?
Right. And so they're like, look, it's not like Christine because even possessed cars can't do stairs, which I appreciated.
Well, I mean, they're also smart. I mean, nobody wants to do stairs.
So they're poking around. Dean finds a 10-year AA chip that belonged to this victim and confesses that he's creeped out by AA, which I think says a lot.
Mm-hmm, Dean? Yep. You does it make you nervous, guilty, uncomfortable because you think... Maybe. And Sam is actually looking at his bank statements and finds a $50 a month charge to someone named James. So Dean is not going to go investigate the AA meetings because he's a pussy. Yeah, basically he refuses to go. I would say Dean refuses to go to AA, which tracks.
Yeah,
and Sam sends him out to hit on Jane.
He does. So Sam talks first to the one of the facilitators of the AA.
I think it was his. I think it was his sponsor.
His sponsor,
because he called her and she went there. I think that was his sponsor.
Right. Because she didn't really know much about him, but she just knows he had a lot going on, and he almost slipped, and he went to Neil's Tavern right before he died.
Yeah, well, and he called her and she went and talked him down. So the typical sponsorship. But he just was very close-minded. And so Dean goes into Jane's, and then there we get the joke of oh, haha, Dean was sent to hit on Jane, but walk past and she's got a pride sticker on his door. So Jane doesn't give a shit about Dean.
And Jane's a florist.
And she is. She has really pretty flowers. I saw a lot of pretty flowers in England. That was when it wasn't pissing rain and really cold. I was in a lot of woods and a lot of flowers just everywhere. So that was nice.
Everything's dead here.
Yeah, my yard is my neighbors hate me because my yard is dead and I refuse to water it.
Crispy.
They call it crispy too. And I'm no, I'm not watering this. This is stupid. It's the drought. It's Mordor. I watered some plants today and they were help me. So I'm so thirsty. So we found
out that Matthew recently paid Jane 3 years in advance to continue his monthly flower delivery. And she definitely gives Dean the address, which I was ooh, that's sketch. She just gives that away? What?
She gives him a lot of side eye, right? And my notes also say that I wish it was because she knew to talk to plants, not cops, which is a shirt that is really cute. But then we find out why she was giving him a side eye, when she was yeah, I guess I'll give you the address.
Because Sam and Dean at night are now in a cemetery. Oh, that's where Elizabeth Duran is buried. And she died at 10 years old.
Yikes.
Well, this is not good. So who the fuck is Elizabeth Duran? And this is annoying because why the fuck didn't they look this up before they went? They had a name and they had an address. But instead of just looking any of that up, they just drove out there.
Maybe they wanted to be maybe she didn't. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to be surprised. They couldn't figure it out yet. Maybe there were a lot of Elizabeth Durans in Dearborn, Michigan.
They had a name and an address.
Yeah, they were just we can't possibly narrow this down. And so, but also I think it was a good decision, at least at this point, not to dig up the 10-year-old corpse, because this was not an 1800 corpse. This is a girl who died not that long ago and she was 10. And you guys are
10 years ago.
She was 10 years old.
And it was 10 years ago because that's his 10-year age.
Yeah, so she's probably not this is not a good look.
Decomposition.
Well, I mean, just it's pervy. It's pervy as fuck. If you get arrested for this,
digging up a 10-year-old, that's not going to be good.
No one's going to think good things about you.
No. So they go back and do their research. And basically, this little girl was accidentally run over by her neighbor while on the bike in the driveway. And there was no charges because it was considered an accident. So Dean's wondering, hey, with the AA thing, I wonder if he was drunk when it happened. Well, he drinks his beer and does not get any of that.
And Sam just stares at him. And we kind of see this later, and I'm y'all, you're drinking and driving all the time. How are they not just getting DUIs right and left?
Non-stop.
So, but now they decide that it's a good time to dig up a child's corpse.
That seems, great plan, Sam.
And you're not,
Sam's getting ready to go.
You're burning a baby. Cool.
That's so fucked.
It's so fucked up. And they just don't even acknowledge this. They're just la 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 la, just what we do. It's so psychopathic.
And now we've got a man being chased by a dog down the street. So before we had a guy being chased by a car, now we got a guy being chased by a dog.
But a floofer.
He's like he's a floofer, black German.
And so there were two tactical dogs that were used for this. I did not find their names, which was annoying. I'm sure I could have dug through more. This episode, if you go to the Supernatural wiki, there's thousands of links to pictures on there. But one of them did bite that dude in the ass.
That's funny. Kind of, but also I feel bad for him.
No, I don't. I think it's hilarious because he was
well,
but I mean, they're real tactical dogs. They're tactical.
Yeah, that's why I feel bad for him. That might actually.
But hurt. I also just think they probably were adorable because this dog is adorable.
It is. And so the guy's like runs into this diner and nobody else.
So while they're running, they run past McOwen's Irish pub, which was in season 614, Mannequin 3, The Reckoning. And that was the bar where Isabel and all her coworkers in the factory would go to.
Oh, and what's his face lived upstairs from?
Yeah. So that's where like the doll was being fucked. And now he's like, maybe just move off this street.
Yeah,
actually, like this would be a really great street. Like this is a street where everything happens.
Apparently so. So he runs into this diner, and we kind of get a couple shots actually now where the show is revealing to us that while he thinks he's being chased, the other people around him in this diner don't see this dog.
The diner looks like it's got killer fries. They look like potato wedges. They look satisfying.
They do. So he goes and runs and locks himself in the bathroom because he is freaked about this fucking dog. And he tries to call 911 and explain, but he doesn't know where he is. This is like the least helpful 911 caller. Like, I understand if they got frustrated with him.
But she was also a shitty dispatcher. And
she was.
Also, like, we've all been, both. Like, this, like, could, like, probably was, like, a Waffle House. Like, I'm just, like, because nobody was really flinching when the dude ran in, was like, this thing is chasing me, and everyone's kind of looking like, I don't see a dog. Like, nobody's like, what the fuck? Like
what's going on? Are you okay?
Why is this junkie, like, running there all just like, I'm going to eat my potato wedges. These are good.
Well, he goes, let this guy go. Hope I don't have to piss. This guy just locked himself in the bathroom.
And he just locked himself in the bathroom. Is he going there to OD? Is he going there to do drugs? Where the fuck is the manager? Like,
nowhere to be found.
And everyone's just like, it's Friday night. Is this what Bella missed? Anyway, so probably. Like also the 911, like, okay, so we get the dog back in. Okay, I'll get back to why I think she's a bad person in a minute. But
so he's standing there trying to answer her questions, and then all of a sudden the dog appears in the bathroom with him, and we get attack, blood splatter, and phone on the floor.
The goodest boy ever, because he just has the cutest expressions on his face. Like
he does. He has his little head tilt and everything.
Head tilt, and then he eats him. And the dispatcher tells him to calm down, and just like, sir, calm down. We'll send the paramedics when you tell us where you are. I'm like, bitch, like, he said there's a dog chasing him. Like, why aren't you sending animal control or the cops or like the mental health unit? Like, please stop. Don't send the cops after this guy. They'll just fucking kill him. So, like, come on, dispatcher, like, just do your job. But no, he dead. It's so sad. But the floofer's gone. No floofer.
The floofer's gone.
And I'm still not mad at the floofer. It was too cute.
Well, Sam and Dean are at the motel after they're digging up baby bones, and they've got snacks. They're gonna take a shower, but right then Sam reads about how Christopher Fisher was ripped to shreds in an animal attack. And Dean's like, yeah, it's a dangerous world out there. Sam's like, in the restroom of a diner. Dean sits up immediately. That doesn't sound right. So basically no one heard or saw anything. So Sam goes online. He's like, let's figure this shit out. This guy used to run a dog fighting ring. Oh yeah, fuck this guy. But are there ghost dogs? Is now the big question.
Ghost dogs! Ghost cars! Ghost dogs.
Ghost dogs. Ghost cars sound cool. Ghost dogs.
Well, there's ghost cats, so I don't know why there can't be ghost dogs. We all know the ghost cat's a thing. So, like, proven. Obviously, Liz says it so. And so, but while they're, like, trying to figure this out, then we sort of get kind of the ethical dilemma of this episode, right? And it is, can people change, or are they basically, like, well, it's one of them. I think there's a lot of, like, kind of ethical questions. And
well, the first one is, so now they're like, okay, wait, so is this guy being punished karmically in some kind of spiritual, not karmic, I know that's not the word they're using.
Karmic retribution, yeah, I mean,
like a retribution kind of a way, because he had a dog fighting ring and now a dog kills him. The other guy killed a little girl with a car, and then intentionally or not, the car kills him. So like we're seeing like this now we've got a pattern, even though it's 2 isn't quite a pattern, and we're starting to establish a pattern. And so they're considering that. But Sam reads in more, though, and he's like, okay, yeah, he had the dog fighting ring, and yeah, he was forced to go do community service, but then he apparently it appears that he had a change of heart and ended up getting really into caring for the animals and kept volunteering after his community service was done and started volunteering and raising money and doing all these things to help the animals. So did the guy, was he actually changed? And does that matter if he was still like targeted by his past?
I don't know. So,
either way, there's red dirt found under his nails and stuff at the corner.
Yeah. Before that, though, Sam really wants to get suited up, and I'm like, y'all need to shower first. Like, that was the first thing that Dean said when they came in. I'm like, y'all just like burned a child. You just, again, like, not to be heartbreaking,
dug up and burned.
You smelled like at least campfire, right? If not, like at the minimum. You just dug up a grave and smell like a campfire. Like, I hope you shower. Like you shouldn't have talked at all. There should not have been sitting. Like, there should have been like, one of you should have been the sink. So the turnpike troubadour is on the loose.
Oh, so speaking of, they got that red dirt under his nails and on his shoes. So now they got to drive out to the country to the apple farm to search a few hundred acres because that seems reasonable.
Yeah, well, and also this is where we start getting the running theme of Dean's just like, I want to go to bed, and I get you. Like, I know that tired, like
Dean tired.
Where it was like you just worked so long,
but you also don't want to admit it.
Yeah, but you have to keep working, and you're just like, I just want to go to sleep. It's well, fine. We're gonna go to an orchard, and we had to search for how long? Oh, great, we hit a person.
Yeah, a guy runs out in front of them. Oh, that's fun. And he's very worried about getting chased by something. And they talk him into getting in the car with them because that's what you do with somebody that's super spooked while you're looking for something spooky out in the country.
I also, like, I don't know about you. I mean, granted, like, this, it depends on where in the country you are. Like, I see, like, I hit somebody with the car. My first instinct is this a scam?
They didn't hit him. They didn't hit him. He just ran out in front of him.
Anyway, so, but yeah, he just...
But yeah, is it a scam? Are they trying to get an insurance check?
Also,
is that what's happening?
Why is, like, this man being like, I'm going to get in this car with these two random white dudes? Like, also, like, these are things nobody asked, bro. Like, you seem fine.
Right. Sure.
But I'm glad they're helpful. Yeah. Good Samaritans.
They are. Good boys. And they go to the hotel, and back at the motel... They basically have to convince this guy that they deal in crazy and so that they will listen to his story because he is like, you're not going to believe me. What the fuck? He's like, basically he was put on trial and sentenced to death. And they're like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, in 1981. They're like, wait, you just got sentenced? It's just very Dean gets so frustrated. It's very funny.
It was like, he killed the owner and wife in 1981. And then Dean's like, they just put you on trial. And my note says, Liz bites her tongue so hard it starts to bleed. So, but then he's like, I just got paroled after 30 years. He's like, the fuck? Okay, wait.
So what we pieced together is that in this man, Warren is his name, in 1981, he held up a liquor store and he shot the owner and the owner's wife. And as he puts it, he was young and dumb. And then he did time in prison for 30 years and then was paroled. And since he has been paroled, now he's had this, he was whisked away to some weird-ass courthouse.
He went to a bar.
Yeah, he went to a Neil's bar.
Got jumped and woke up in a courtroom. Which I say, yes. I've gotten drunk and woken up in some places, but never a courtroom, and I'm just knocking on everything that I can possibly is made of wood, so that will never, ever happen.
And some judge, he doesn't know his judge's names, but there's a whole bunch of symbols, and it was this courtroom in a barn, and they sentenced me to death.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, this sounds fucking weird. Yeah. So Dean's like, kind of pulls Sam aside at this point, because he's like, yeah, all these victims aren't really like victims, but they are victims.
Before that happens, Warren, I love Warren. He was just like, when he figures out that they believe him, he was like, why do you believe me? Who are you? And this is where he starts getting suspicious, and this is why I love Warren. He was like, wait, this is crazy. Like, why are you believing me? It's crazy.
No. He knows. But Dean's like, yeah, I don't really feel like too bad for these people. Maybe they kind of like, oh, we got drunk driver, Michael Vick, and a murderer.
He's judgy.
And He doesn't like that this case is not black and white. And he's kind of rooting for the ghost. But Sam's like, hey, we've done a lot of shit too. So I don't think that that's very fair of us to be judging. Which I think fair.
I tend to,
I'm with Sam on this
I'm on the Sam train.
Just because you've done something wrong, it doesn't make it okay to.
I don't think depending on what it is, if you believe in reciprocity, if you believe in restitution, or actually just remorse, and people can learn from their mistakes and move on. Then,
or if somebody's already paid the price, like all these people already served a form of time in some way, shape, or form for their.
But this is the only way that Dean's character is somewhat redeeming, is that he is not holding them to a double standard. He is saying this applies to him. And this is where
he's like, oh,
this is dark too. This is where we're kind of like Dean's like being real dark again. Like he's like, I did this shit. Those ghosts have the right to come after me too. And I'm like, ooh,
yeah, which is fucked.
Yeah, like you don't sleep well.
No, because then it's like, well, all along, the concept I thought was that they convinced themselves that they were doing it for a greater good, or it had to be done, or it was just the way things went. It wasn't a choice to do bad. You know what I mean? That's the concept, and Dean basically is kind of negating that.
Yeah, but I think that he also has a lot of things that are, as we'll see, he's feeling guilty about something else, and I think,
I know,
and I think he's letting that influence a lot of his decisions and his attitude. However, he also goes, I don't want to think about this. I want to go get fucked up. Which
I'm gonna go to the bar.
and say, what does Sam ask?
He says, to work or to drink? And Dean goes, haven't decided.
Pretty much Dean says, por qué no los dos?
Right. Por qué no los dos?
And so I get I feel you, Dean, like you're feeling bad, and so you want to push those feelings down with some booze. Ooh.
Way down. Yeah. So Sam goes back to the room and is like, hey, Warren, sorry we left you here real weird after you told us this crazy story, but I need you to come with me to go do this thing to find this barn. And Warren's like, fuck you. So this goes round and round.
Snarky. And he's just like, it's red. It stands out. Like, you'll find it. And I kind of have to agree with him. He's like, it's a fucking barn. Like, this is literally like, you can't miss the barn.
So Sam finally was like, hey, look, fine. If you aren't going to come with me, then you got to stay here. But you cannot leave this room, and I'm going to draw a salt circle around your chair and hand you a remote. I'm like, what if he has to pee? How long is he going to be cold?
Should he have done, how would you do a salt circle from the toilet to the chair? Or I guess
very awkward.
I mean, I would say
you move the TV to the bathroom. That's what you do.
But I guess if the salt circle doesn't go all the way around the toilet.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, because all right.
Weird problems.
He's an old man, though. I'm sure he needs to pee a lot.
Probably. That's what I was thinking, too. I'm like, this is an older gentleman. That man's going to have to pee at some point. So, but in the meantime, Warren did draw us the pictures of the symbols that he saw in this courtroom, which Sam is able to send to Bobby. But down at Neil's Tavern, Dean's having a drink, and he meets bartender Mia.
He gets shoulder checked, and he's really pissed. And but he basically, excuse me, and I that's rightfully that is a rightful indignation. If you get shoulder checked walking to a bar, someone should say I am sorry, and you should have you have that right to be like, fuck you, excuse you. But then he also appreciated it. He was like, I love a dive bar, and so I was there with him. I'm like, fuck you, love it. So, but this dive bar has a supermodel bartender working at it.
Yeah, we've got Mia, and she is a very pretty girl. She looks like a cross between, damn it, I forgot the actress's name.
All the ones I think of do porn. I'm sorry, she looks like a fucking porn star. She was gorgeous. She looks too hot to be in this bar.
She does. Ben Stiller's wife and Jenny Garth. That's cross of the two. That's who she looks like to me. Anyways.
Okay, damn. Okay, yeah. All right. We'll let the audience ponder on that. This is why you join this podcast. We'll have those difficult questions. All right. So, hot chick is serving him.
So they're going to start doing shots. well, Dean's going to start doing shots, and then she starts doing shots with him. And she's like, oh, it's been that kind of a week. And he tells her that he's a cop. And she's like, look, if you're drinking like that, it's either work or love. So what's going on? And blah, blah, blah. And throughout this scene, we're seeing a lot of it shot with a profile of a man wearing a baseball cap at the bar, at the end of the bar.
Somebody's being a nosy Peter, and they are just listening in on his conversation, or watching them do shots and be nauseated like I am, being like, at least order a fucking chaser, assholes. Like, I'm going to vomit. You cannot drink this. Like, that was like 7 whiskeys in a row.
Scotch.
Ugh. Ugh.
But I do like that she describes herself like a captive shrink with unlimited alcohol.
But also, Mia's got a job to do, and guys are probably hitting on her. Like, look at her. They're hitting on her all day long. And granted, yeah, Mia, he's hot. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So, and Dean kind of tries to poke around like he's going to ask her a question, like, oh, it ends up that she didn't work all week. This is her first night back or something like that. So, but then either way, that kind of that part of the conversation fizzles out quick. But eventually he gets to, do you ever do something behind someone's back because you had to? And she's like, well, if you had to do it, why do you feel bad or why do you feel guilty?
Because it's shitty. Because what you did was shitty, Dean.
So that means you didn't have to.
And so, but also I'm like, this is Mia. All right. So I'm Mia, the hot bartender. And here comes Hot Ackles. And he is like, have you ever done anything so shitty to somebody, but you felt guilty about it, but you had to do it? Is she like, fuck this dude? Or she's like, oh, this guy's opening his emotions to me. He's actually like bearing his soul. Here's my number. And that's pretty much what she does. She's just like.
So the answer is that response is based on how old she is.
Fair. Because she's our age. We're like.
Because in my 20s, I'd be like, oh, he's opening up and he's like kind of bad boy. And now I'd be like, red flag, out. You're out, sir. You're out. You're out. You make bad choices, sir.
Like, whatever you're saying sounds like you have a record. That is what I am hearing.
So, yeah. Anyway, so she's like, oh, you got to slow down on those shots, big boy. I get off work in an hour.
Yeah, Mia.
So he switches to beer.
He switches to beer, but he's still going to have whiskey dick. Like, he just is, Mia. Like, there's just no way he's not. Meanwhile, Sam is going out to find the big red barn. And
which he finds. And nobody mentioned it has a 49 Chevy truck parked outside that is beautiful.
And there was also a nice tractor in there. But the farm just is where the barn belongs to one of the Dolly Grips, Steve Gilmore. So when the Supernatural family actually owned the farm.
Oh, that's funny. So, and while he's poking around this old barn, he does notice that the dirt matches the dirt from the crime scenes.
Red dirt bandit.
Oh, yes, the Red Dirt Bandit.
Yeah, I bet there is a fucking band name that. All right.
Oh my gosh. So the phone rings and it's Bobby, and he knows what these symbols mean that Warren drew.
He does.
They're Egyptian. They're from the Book of the Dead, tied to the god Osiris, who is a real authoritarian type.
Hot.
Judge, jury, and executioner. And he weighs guilt. He pops up periodically over time. But he weighs the guilt inside somebody's like heart. That's what he's weighing. Not like he's not saying, "Oh, what did you do, right or wrong?" He's weighing how someone views themselves.
But not everybody sees it that way, or maybe I don't know. Like people like, and we'll get to that later. But that was some lore by Bobby. So let's fill in some gaps before we meet our hot. I'm spoiling, but whatever. We all know he's fucking hot. Let's talk about Osiris. Time for lore. So let's talk about Osiris, or more explicitly, let's talk about Osiris's dick. And why? 1, because I'm 12. And 2, because it's also the center of a lot of Egyptian mythology and just Egyptian culture in general. I tried to get a double entendre for the center of mythology, and ChatGPT could not give me a thing that was like making it like, a phallic thing, but whatever. So according to The Secret of the Golden Phallus, Male Erotic Alchemy for the 21st Century, yes, that is a book, there were at least 9 terms for phallus in ancient Egypt, and they had like a lot of variations, a lot of associations, like words that meant to like present and to rise. But so An oversimplification of Osiris's myth for the unfamiliar. Osiris was the son of the sky goddess. You could call her Nut, or it could be called Nut. Her name is spelled N-U-T typically. And the earth god Geb, G-E-B. So slight tangent here. I went to look up how to pronounce Geb because in my head it was coming out like a southern farmer, like Jeb and Nut got together. And on answers.com, somebody wrote, Egyptologists generally use the vowel E to stand for all those missing vowels, so the name written GB in hieroglyphs becomes GEB. But we can never know the correct pronunciation, so you can say Jeb any way you want. It will always be incorrect.
I don't know if that makes me feel better or worse.
It was like the most like nerd, like science, like comic book nerd Hermione answer. Like, you can say
it however the fuck you want. You're gonna be wrong anyways.
It's always gonna be wrong. Anyhow, so Osiris marries his sister Isis, becomes a great king, but they went out to do king stuff. Well, like he went out to do stuff, and Isis like did just a fine job of running Egypt without him, or the heavens, wherever she was running. But then his brother Set, that was also her brother too. I checked, yes, that was, so family problems, just squabbling right and left. So Set decided to launch an assassination plot, and Osiris's body ends up torn into 14 pieces. And so Isis goes out to collect all of them to resurrect them, and she finds everything but his dick. And in some of the stories, eaten by a fish, like a catfish, or the medjed, which is like an elephant fish that was worshipped sometimes in Egypt. And it's really awesome because like the figures have like this fish, and then it has these little like horn sun disk crowns. So it just looks like this fish with like a crown. And I just think they're really great statues. Anyways, so Isis basically bandages Osiris up. So she makes a mummy. Egypt mummy, right? And so, but in all these things, so he's lying on his back, right? And he has a funeral bed. But he's got everything but his dick. And so you can't have the rebirth without that. So she makes him one, right? And depending on what it is, sometimes it's wax, sometimes it's wood, sometimes it's gold, the golden phallus. But she doesn't use her new dildo. She just basically provides the stimulation for the resurrection to happen. So in a lot of the stories, she transforms herself into her bird form, and so then she's just like flapping around him, which is basically making the dick move up and down. So then when flap flap flap, and then he comes, and then he's like, I'm alive, so this actually mimics another Egyptian creation story in which the Egyptian god Atum ejaculated all the new Egyptian gods. Like some of them, like he like ejaculated, and some of them he sneezed. I forget, some of them he spit. I'm not sure, but according to Kathleen M. Connie's article, Gender Transformation and Death, a female entity, his hand, helped Atum by stimulating him and giving him a vessel for the conception. This is a direct quote from the article because I can't right now. So a tomb was considered a manifestation of the evening sun, which would die, but remain full of potentiality for rebirth. When the sun set in the west, a tomb entered the mouth of the sky goddess Nut. I changed her name from Nut to Nut for this reason. A tomb entered the mouth of the sky goddess Nut, whose body was thought to contain the Duat, or netherworld. This essentially planted the seed of conception and Atum's reborn self within his own mother. Yep. So basically, he takes his mom's head and he fucks it. And then when he comes... He's gonna fuck his mom. Yeah, thanks. Seriously. Okay, so some...
But that was also whose mouth was also the whole entry to the netherworld?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is so weird.
Yeah, Egyptian Book of the Dead, man. It's so great. So some other random things about Osiris's peen. So hieroglyphs told that Osiris tale, and so like they would have like the story of it. And so sometimes in the pictures, like where like the phallus would be, there would just be like wavy lines. So like there was like magic coming off of it. Or as Tim Gehring said in his article, Egypt, Sunken Cities and the Mystery of the Missing Phallus, phallus, which is the Hardy Boys books we all needed, he said, like it smelled. So, like, because you know how, like, the way...
Like the scent lines?
The scent lines.
Stink lines,
so
stink
like,
lines.
Like, there's a stick, and it's just like, ooh, what's coming off? Osiris needs to wash his balls, is pretty much, like, what that was.
Osiris's ball stank.
Yeah,
Good Lord.
So that article was discussing reproductions from the temple complex of Dendera, circa 125 to 50 BCE. That temple was vandalized by various groups, most likely some Coptic Christians, who would chisel at faces, bodies, and everything, and of course the phallus, like to destroy graven images, right? Like, you know, like you can't have graven images. But some of the phalluses appear to have been taken. So, like, specifically carved out in...
They stole some dicks.
They stole their dicks in quote-unquote fertility gouges thought to be for aphrodisiacs, right? So, but there was a term for that, which means that so many people stole dicks off of walls that academics had to come up with the term, and they came up with fertility gouges instead of just, like, dick stealing. But whatever. Some other random Osiris peen facts. So there are corn mummies, which is basically these like little like statues, right? They're like small, like you're generally like kind of like 2 feet tall, and like typically they show like Osiris, he's on his back with a very erect peen, and they were made from earth and seeds and made to represent Osiris and used in the mysteries of Osiris rituals, which just sound fun. If you want to, you can have one for your very own. I saw one for sale for only from like $6,000 to $9,000. However, the dick was also mostly missing from that one. So sorry, like it's not intact. Also, did you know that King Tut was involved with his dick at a 90-degree angle? And they thought that it was because they wanted to make it more like Osiris, right? So when they first like were photographing him during the Howard Carter's excavation, so this is Harry Burton. So in 1922, like he took pictures of what they found in King Tut's, right? And he had this penis, and it was intact and it was erect. And then in 1968, this professor goes and starts like taking X-rays of like what's inside the sarcophagus, and they're like, "Where's the penis?" And they're like, "Oh no, somebody like stole it," which is a reasonable conclusion, aka fertility gouging, right?
Been a problem.
And people just steal dicks because it's funny. But then like later on, they're like, "Oh wait, it wasn't stolen. It was always there." And they found that out when they did a CAT scan, right? So, but it turns out it has always been there. I found it during the CT scan last year when the mummy was lifted, said Professor Zahi Hawass. I don't know, I gave him that voice. Chief of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities. I'm sure he's a very serious man. But then the very serious man said, it lay loose in the sand around the king's body. It was mummified. And that led some to speculate that King Tut had a micropenis, but according to mummy expert Dr. Edward Gardavigil, the pharaoh was maybe a grower. Quote, "The pharaoh's sex organ is clearly visible in Burton's pictures. All was normal in King Tut. The penis is a highly vascularized organ and shrinks when it is mummified. Actually, King Tut has been flattered by the embalmer's work," says Egoter. This is like the best article ever, like archaeologists are. And so 2 last random things. I went down a rabbit hole trying to find anything that could correlate an article by Philip Coppens that said that the astrologer Linda Goodman spent money paying people to prove that Osiris's golden phallus was buried in the Hollywood Hills underneath where the Hollywood Cross is, because somebody came to her hotel room at the Roosevelt Hotel in the haunted room and told her that. And I couldn't find, like in her book, it says someone came to her room, didn't say anything about Osiris's dick. And so I couldn't find anything about Osiris's dick being in Hollywood, except for probably some weird ads in the back page. And so last random thing, Dinah got to see some very wonderful pictures today, because the author of the Happy Hooker book, Xavier Hollander, wrote a series called The Golden Phallus of Osiris, and they have the most amazing cover where this woman is like got a saxophone, and she just has like kind of that dog's tilt head, and she's like playing it with a happy face, and it's called Yours Fatally. Oh, and one last fact that we probably need for this: Osiris was the judge in the underworld for people's souls, and he wagered hard against stuff. Okay, whatever. All right.
Didn't we referenced Osiris before, right? Because I referenced the episode, the Sesame Street movie, and Everything's I'm Always Crazy. It's like a not as well known one. Let's see if I can remember the name of it real fast, and then I will leave it be. But there's an episode. There was a special thing about with Big Bird meets Osiris at the freaking museum.
That sounds like a fever dream that I believe happened.
It did. It's a whole thing.
Anyways, Osiris.
Don't eat the pictures. It's locked inside for the night. Big Bird and Snuffy. Big Bird has to go help the son of a god. It's a son of Osiris, and he meets Osiris, and he does get his heart weighed with feathers. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, the heart weighs with feathers, like, it's a well-known thing. The whole thing about his dick, I thought, was less well-known and much more interesting.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And apparently this is a really big part of Egyptian culture, so I feel like we should respect that culture and learn about it. We should learn about Osiris's dick. And also, like, I kind of never knew that, right? Like, I also never knew, like, the masturbation thing is just huge. Like, not to be, like, a dick joke there, but, like, it just, like, I guess, like, we don't really, like, why don't you talk about this shit in school? Oh, yeah, because we're all, like, puritanical losers. But, it would be so much more, like, how much were you paid attention, like, in history class? They were like, and then Osiris's dick, like, had a bird flapping around it, and she flapped her wings. Like, but, okay, so the first book that I referenced that had, like, that said that, like, there were 9 different words for phallus, whatever. Mm-hmm. That was, like, I thought it was a 60s instructional manual for men to get in touch with their organs, their organ. And I thought it was, like, it read very 60s, but I think it was actually published in, like, 2011 or something. But, wow. There was, like, so much, like, all these great pictures of, like, there's a very elaborate ritual that goes into Osiris's bed where, like, there's a frog at his feet, and there's, like, like, Isis is there with her sister, which I guess is also, like, so both of them are there to stimulate, like, the resurrection. But it's just this whole, like, thing that goes on with it. And I encourage you to look that up. You won't always be taken to Pornhub. Just put in Osiris's dick and see what happens.
Noted.
Anyway, so that was how I spent some of my vacation. What was best was I was looking at when I sent Diana the picture today of which we have to share on Insta of the book cover. There was a man installing blinds, and he was, like, a young man, probably, like, in his 20s. And, like, so I have, like, 2 laptops in front of me, and that one was a very large picture of that woman in her 90 with the saxophone out while he's, like, installing my blinds. He looked over to ask me a question. I was like, I'm just going to switch this screen real fast.
Awkward.
All right. So let's jump back in. Okay. All right. No. Sorry, that was long, but it was, dicks. All right, so Bobby is like, Sam, what do you know what this means?
And then Sam's like, oh yeah, we gotta fight this guy or something. And Bobby's like, no, you gotta get the fuck out. Bobby's like, no, you gotta get the fuck out. Think about how guilty fucking Dean feels. Get the fuck out.
Which I think is just like, Sam's like, Bobby's like, your brother's a little bitch. You need to get him out of town. And that's like like also kind of funny, right? Like, Sam is kind of the level-headed, crazy person. Mm-hmm. I don't want to use the word crazy, but like, he's hallucinating, and he is a level-headed one here.
Yeah. So Dean leaves the bar, and he is drunk and trying to give himself a gross pep talk outside the bar.
You can do this, you can fuck her, you're not gonna get whiskey dick. But, like, as he's doing that, his phone rings and a shadow yanks him, like, right off the ground.
Yeah, he gone and his phone's on the ground. So Sam is leaving the barn, and he is pissed because Dean's not answering the phone until Mia picks up and it's like, oh yeah.
He assumes his brother is drunk and not answering the phone.
Which is fair.
It's fair. It is a very reasonable phone.
But Mia's like, no, he was supposed to meet me, and he's gone. And so Sam hauls ass. While that's happening, back in the motel room, Warren is still watching TV. And it goes to static. The lights start flickering. So we all know he's fucked, right? I mean, that's the viewer.
And he does not trust the salt circle.
No, he doesn't trust the salt circle. So he breaks it and he runs, and we start seeing the dead couple like chasing him down the motel hallway. Like, not like chasing him,
well,
but
they're
keep
doing
appearing.
like the ghost,
It's very
like the
sad.
ghost flash in and
flicker. I don't
like it at all. Okay, let's move past that. It's not fun.
He tries to apologize to him, and then they shoot him.
Okay.
That's
Sorry.
it. So back, Sam and Mia are like, what the fuck? And so where was this phone? And she points it out. And guess what? It was sitting in this giant pile of red dirt on the sidewalk that no one noticed. That's not weird.
No, and it does not look good. It does also not. It doesn't look like red dirt. It looks like what I saw on the streets of Blackpool this week, and it was not pretty. So the red dirt bandit has stuck again, and Sam's like, "I'm going to go to the barn, but this time I have a gun."
Yeah. So now he had a gun before, but now it's a bigger gun.
Now it's a shotgun.
Yeah. And Dean is in the barn, which one room of the barn is now magically like a courtroom kind of sort of.
It's an Egyptian temple. So they were originally they were going to try and do it like Law and Order style, right? And they just couldn't make that aesthetic work with Osiris. So they go in with this really cool Egyptian temple thing, which just works for me. And now some of the Egyptian statues basically got the one of the location managers, Russ Hamilton, he had them, and so now like at his Halloween, like he gets to put like giant statues out there. They're made out of foam.
Cool.
Yeah, but also like I imagine his wife, like when he showed up with these giant, like Egyptian. God damn it, fucking impressive. He's like, they're so cool. And she's like, fucking.
Well, we've got Osiris is presiding over this court. This is Osiris's court scenario.
He's making that robe work.
Chained to a chair. And Osiris is sassy AF.
He is. He's cheeky as very cheeky, and he knows Sam is there. He knows that Sam knows who he is, and he just tries to shoo him away.
But Sam's like, no. Instead of shooing me away, I will be his attorney.
Okay.
And Dean's like questioning this, but like that's actually a pretty solid plan.
It's a solid plan. I went to Stanford,
but also because he's like, yeah, it's pre-law, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
Enough. But either way, so Osiris is trying to start.
Sam wants to be his lawyer and ask the judge if he's going to respect his rights or not. And I just said my mouth is just full of blood right now from biting my tongue again. So Sam tries to object to Osiris's rules.
More than once. And Osiris informs him that if he keeps it up, that he will have him in contempt, which is, I'll kill you.
Yeah, it did.
So contempt's a little more serious than Osiris's court.
Fuck with Osiris.
Mm-mm. So Osiris is going to start calling. He talks about how I could call so many witnesses. I'm just going to call 3. And the first one is Joe.
Yay,
so we get Joe. Which means we get to see Joe again, which is kind of cool. But kind of not good because we know this is weird. So we've got Joe on the stand, and Osiris is trying to lead her questions to imply that she became a hunter because she went on her first hunt with Dean, and that's why she became a hunter, which started the path that led to her death. That's his argument.
What?
And we get some really, really good montages of Joe and Dean, like on hunts and things. Osiris does call out her feelings for Dean.
I like how you call out that she called out her feelings, and my question was, Osiris asked, "Was it hard?" And then I just laughed for like 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh!
Diana's like, I'm so sick of Liz right now.
Damn it. No, I'm just like,
yeah, but he's just,
I didn't catch that one. I'm actually kind of annoyed.
But you're right, he is just like goading her, but he's also kind of dumping some crap, right?
Yeah, but then, like, he's like, would you have chosen the same path and end up in the same hardware store and holding a fuse? But Sam's like, my turn to cross. Here we go. By the way, wasn't your dad a hunter? Didn't you idolize your dad? Didn't you become a hunter because your dad was a hunter? Huh?
And she's like, damn right, it was daddy issues.
And then, yeah.
The dialogue, the script is just, I think it's just brilliant. It's so good.
It is. It's well done. And then right when she turns to Dean to try to tell him that she doesn't blame him. You can tell that's what she's about to say. And Osiris boops her away.
Yep,
Boop,
she's
gone.
zapped. Zip.
So next up on the stand, we've got first Osiris is like, I'm going to give you guys a break so you can like prep for the next round or whatever. And Sam's like, Dean, who do you think the next witness is going to be? And Dean's like, I don't have a clue. This place is like Pee-wee's Playhouse. And I was like, oh, R.I.P. Poor Room.
Yeah, and so R.I.P. Pee-wee, and also the executive producer for this episode, Jim Michaels, was also a producer on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Oh.
There's a double Oz. Oh, so pour one out, but we have to go back to the judge who just calls Sam to the stand.
Sam.
Oh, snap.
Uh-oh. Because if we know anything about Dean, a lot of his guilt revolves around Sam.
Well, also, I mean, like, that's who you spend all your time with. Like, yeah, I think Big Brother, like, it's just going to be there, right? But I think this is also, like, this why this episode works a lot, because we get so much, like, a lot of this is real, like, is relatable, and Sam does not blame Dean at all. He is just like, no, this isn't your fault, like, and
we get some really good montages again, by the way,
and the cut, like, with back and forth between the past and the present, is really good, but Dean just blames himself, and you can see he's like, no, you know, I blame me for this.
Yeah, you can see that on Dean's face the whole time. Also, Osiris calls baby a gas guzzler, and that's just rude. But we've got Osiris is trying to get to.
See, now I want to go back to the gas guzzler
Dean's
thing.
fault.
I'm sorry, because like they're driving her all over the country. They have to have done like probably a lot of things to make her very efficient. Yes, I know she's probably like she burns more gas than an average automobile, but they can't just drive her everywhere. They'd be having to fill up like every like 2 gas stations, right?
It's
like,
fine.
she's fine. No, sorry. I just wanted to protect her. I'm like, we can't.
No, I was offended. So basically, the Osiris is trying to get Sam to imply that it's Dean's fault that Jess died, and that Sam doesn't have the normal life that he thought he was going to have with college and Jess. And at the end of the day, Sam isn't buying it even, which is good. But Dean's not convinced, and we can tell that. So finally, when we get to the end of this little questioning, is when Osiris is like, oh, by the way, you know, you can sit and do this all day, but you don't have to convince me. I'm not the one you have to convince. You're doing a great job, but you have to convince Dean, because I'm not deciding. I'm literally weighing the guilt in his heart.
And that goes back to what you said earlier, right? When we were talking, like we've all said it, but like what Osiris is really looking at isn't necessarily, I'm not weighing your morality,
guilt or innocence.
I'm not weighing that. I'm weighing how you feel. So what do you feel? How do you feel about your life?
Yeah.
And that's
deep. So if Dean feels innocent, he is what he says. And so, yeah. But Osiris is like, yeah, people want to be judged.
Which I think is also I thought that was a very astute and like, oh, like, people want to know if they can get a rose. But I mean, I want to be judged, but like not by like my credit report. Like I want a report card for like a math test. Like those are nice. Like I know like with those, like how to make those. But anyway, so people want to be judged.
And so Sam's like, yeah, so you know what? If that's the case, I'm going to call Dean to the stand. Boom.
What?
Ooh. And Osiris is entertained enough that he'll allow it, because he also realizes that Dean's so fucking guilty that he's not going to change anything. But he tries to get, Sam points out, he's like, hey, Dean, are you psychic? Well, if not, then you wouldn't have known that all this shit was going to happen. So you can't blame yourself, right? It's not your fault.
He also could have been a therapist. Sounds exactly like something my therapist would ask me. Like, could you plan all this stuff? Well, no. Then, like, why are you guilty about it? Oh, yeah, you should be guilty about this.
Yeah.
What about Joe? What about Joe? Did you kill her?
Kill her? No. Are you just sad she's dead? Because it blows.
Like, oh, I'm just sad. Whoa, shit. Well, my heart, and then, like, do you want to give the most poetic line?
Is your heart heavy with guilt or just plain heavy? None of this guy's business.
I feel like part of that is like on like some woman's like sampler somewhere, but or it's just like
Someone has that
yeah,
tattoo.
your heart isn't heavy with guilt; it's just heavy. It's very close to like there's no justice, there's just us. But but it's still like, but it's I think, but it's still I think it's very poetic.
It is. No, it really is. And so Sam rests. And Osiris is like, cool. Do you want me to bring my third witness? Ha ha ha. Nudge, nudge. I had a third witness. Nudge, nudge. And we get a video montage of Amy. But Sam's like, well, I don't know. What is he talking about? And Dean's like, no, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so basically Dean is like, I don't want, like, I feel so, this is also a true guilty person, right? This is like,
yeah, I feel so guilty. I don't want this
I don't want Sam, I would rather die than let Sam know that I killed his friend. Because I did some shit. And not just killed his friend, I violated his trust. He asked me to trust him, and it was a big fucking deal. And I'm lying to him about
trust him, and I lied to him about it. Ugh.
Yeah, you know his stomach, like I know that stomach feel like I get it for like stupid things, but like you know that feeling though, like where you fucked up and you're about to be found out for like whatever fuck up you did, right? Oh, it's so bad, But
so Osiris has a ruling: guilty in your heart, die.
yeah, it's just he sentences him to die without even calling the third witness or hearing any evidence. And here, just take my tongue. I've completely bitten it off now. So we got to the motel, and the crime scene is there, and it's just police. And nobody likes that when you go back to your motel and they're just
motel and it's full of cops and a corner.
You're like, oh shit.
So Warren dead.
Aww.
And they see that they go in the room and they see the broken salt line, and you can tell this is another where Dean's just giving up. Dean's just gonna be ready to die. And it's all right.
But he's also
where Sam is like,
oh sorry,
Sam's like frantically researching.
He is, but is also once again, I think also Dean becoming the hunted, right? So this is once again where they set out on a investigation to like go after something like a vampire or whatever, and all of a sudden now that's just whatever they were hunting is now just hunting Dean.
Yeah, that has happened. So in the middle of this, Bobby calls. He's like, look, I've got a way to put Osiris down for a couple of centuries. And Sam's like, temporary, that's bullshit. He ain't happy about it. But Bobby's like, is it a long temporary? Like, did you not hear me say centuries, brah? And we can let a hunter in a spacesuit handle this later. Come on. So you just got to stab him with a ram's horn. That's all. And you better be a sharp one because he's not going to let you stab him twice, which I appreciate.
I appreciated that. And also, there is a joke in this because Sam wants to know where he can find a ram's horn in Dearborn. And there is a southeastern Michigan chain restaurant called Ram's Horn that has 3 locations in Dearborn and Dearborn Heights, as well as several other locations in the greater Metro Detroit area.
That's funny.
I did not know that either. And now we should, I don't know if it still exists, but let's go eat at Ram's Horn.
So he does some research and figures out the only place he's going to find a ram's horn is in a synagogue. And so he's like, okay, I've got to go steal from the synagogue, which sounds sketchy.
Well, Dean's like, that's a new low. And I'm like, you burned a 10-year-old. Like an hour ago. Hours ago, you burned a 10-year-old and you're worried about stealing from a synagogue and like a ram's horn. You're not like stealing gold.
It's not money. Come on now. Or something else. Yeah. Anyway, so Dean's like, yeah, I know Osiris is going to send Joe to kill me. And she knows how to deal with ghosts. I guess am I supposed to kill her again though? Like, what the fuck? So Sam leaves and Dean starts salting around himself. But he knows that Joe's already
and
there.
And he was just like, I'm putting the path to the bathroom. I know I'm going to. No, Dean's probably like, I need a path to the fridge so I can get beer.
Beer fridge.
Yep.
Yeah. So Sam does find a ram horn. It has a very, very dull tip, and he gets busted by the rabbi.
The rabbi was hilarious. I loved him. And then we start getting the directing, even or the editing, starts picking up more, and it's so good.
Yes. Now we cut back to Neil's tavern, and there's a redheaded woman talking to Mia, and she's, just spilling her guts, and we can see the profile of Osiris listening to her. Then we cut back, and Joe is there talking to Dean, and like, look, I wouldn't do this. It's not okay. I don't have a choice. And Dean tells her that she deserves better than this, which I think is sweet. And now we cut back. Sam's on the move with the ram's horn, but now it's sharp because it's like broken. We're Dearborn with the ram's horn. It's very confusing.
I know, but also, was there a cut scene with like him and the rabbi where Sam explained this, and the rabbi was like, "Oh, for shizzle, I have like, let's break it." Like, I don't know, like. I feel like him and his rabbi had a moment, and I want to see it.
I do too. That's a on the cutting room floor or whatever, right? Is that what they say? Yeah, I know. I was like, suddenly he just has it and it's sharp. I'm like, I don't know what happened here, but I want to know. Sounds like a good story. So Joe is explaining. It's like trying to still alleviate Dean's guilt, but it's too late, right? Why is she doing this? Who fucking cares? Not to be a dick, but like, is this really what she wants to tell him? Like, yeah, my life was good. And Dean's like, no, that dick judge was right about everything. I basically, Dean's convinced himself that he fucked over both Joe and Sam. They were both kids and he just didn't want to be alone. And he dragged them both into hunter life. And she's like, no, Osiris is right about some things, but not about the massive crush and not about that. He's right that you carry too much crap. And she's like, trying to explain that's so much clearer when you're dead.
Yeah, and I really liked that exchange, like dialogue, and also just in the way that the actors did it. Did it, but it was just that it was very real, right? Like it was very much that feeling of being a female who's had a lot of male friends, kind of like we could have been something that that never would have been that like. But also kind of like you were like an older brother to me, so we could never would I don't know. It was just very real.
It's cool and it's okay. And
it was sweet. It was a very sweet moment.
It was, and I think that's important. But Dean's like, well, I'm, she's like, yeah, you're full of crap. It's much clearer when you're dead. He's like, well, I'm 90% crap, and she's like, well, sorry, it's time, and goes and turns on the fucking gas on the stove.
And also, so basically, we're recreating because we're getting those flashbacks of how she died.
Oh yeah.
What about the other people in this apartment building? Like, is this fire? Oh, this explosion!
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, this is a very dramatic way to go.
This is terrifying
and dangerous.
Please don't kill. Is it only going to be this one motel?
I doubt it.
Anyways, Osiris, what you doing?
So we cut back we've got our redhead leaving the bar, and
Osiris got creepy, just fucking stalking her in the alley now.
And he just he's stalking her ass. And Joe tells me, she's like, I know all the tricks. The salt ain't going to help, basically. And so she does a super cool ghosty trick and freezes the window until it breaks.
To her frozen scene. Let it go.
She is. She's singing let it go. When she's basically telling him to do that. So, that's what she's been telling Dean this whole time. So fucking let it go.
If we can do it without being sued, I would really like to play that scene with just
let it go playing.
Can you guys just sing it and just
I do know this song.
I know you.
I went to the musical.
You guys can do it in a song. You and Dave can do it in a punk rock version. Do punk rock version of "Let It Go" with this scene.
There's already a version. I'll just steal theirs.
Okay. Well, no, we would YouTube wouldn't let that through, but if you did it. Anyways, okay. True. So where I was got very distracted by producing Sam.
She freezes it. The breeze breaks the salt. The breeze bakes the salt line. So there we're at. And in the meantime, Osiris jacks this redhead, which is super sketch. But we cut back, and Joe now has Dean Zippo, and so now it's super scary because she's about to light up this whole fucking motel building. Right? This is dangerous. But back on the street outside of Neil's tavern, Sam has the sheep's horn. Oh, ram's horn. What the fuck is it?
It's a ram's horn, and he stabs it with him. And I'm like, hee, it's a penis reference. We have Osiris's peen, and it all comes back in. And I bow for giving you Osiris's dick. Okay, so he's gone, but
Osiris dead, or for now,
he's got stabbed with his horn.
And then back at the motel, Joe just reaches up and touches Dean's face and then drops the Zippo.
She's gone.
And they're both gone. Well, they're both tearing up, but she's gone. Yeah. He's still there. So now we're going to go drink beers by the river next day.
By the river. And they're drinking Schlitz.
Babe was watching this with me, and his immediate comment was, that is not Dearborn.
No,
wherever it is.
It is not Michigan. And also, like, I wasn't quite sure that was Schlitz. Like, the can said Schlitz, but I think Schlitz was a different color. But also, like, did you not learn anything from the guy that just ran over that 10-year-old girl's corpse that you burned about drinking and driving? Like, what the fuck, man? Why are you drinking beer?
So, yeah, questionable. So Dean's like, hey, you know, what were you doing trying to defend me? And he's like, yeah, you know, maybe it would have been a decent lawyer after all, but you know, but the only reason Sam volunteered to do it is because he didn't want Osiris to kick him out. So yeah, Sam really wants to know who the third witness would have been, but Dean just keeps lying, has no idea.
What? Who? What? Look over there!
I have no idea who could have been. But Sam's like, look, I just want you to know, like, I don't feel guilty about things from the past anymore. And Dean's like, oh, what kind of happy pills are you on? But Sam's like, no, like, it's not that. He's like, I feel like I paid my dues in hell. It's not wiped clean. There's no, like, wiping a clean slate. But the past is the past, and I need to move on. Clean slate.
Yeah, let's use some clean slate. But, so... The red wine is good. But I mean, I think this is like really, it's very interesting that Sam can think like, and this goes into kind of the ethical dilemma. I know we're both just making the ethical dilemma of this episode. Yeah. That was karmic retribution, like immediately. So, but that you can serve your time and. Like, he's not necessarily saying that that was his penance, but right. Also, like, probably, like, Sam, you were not even a 30-year-old man. I think, like, a couple 100 years in hell is probably good enough penance for, like, the candy that you stole, like, or whatever the fuck you did as Sam Winchester. Like, I'm pretty sure you're good. Right? Yeah. Or it just, but he's very, like, it's very, my past is my past, and I can move on with my life.
Right.
Ooh.
It's an interesting attitude. Very somebody's therapist made their
or something
money.
That you'd probably learn at AA if you went fucking Winchester. So, but I also like Sam is also tempting things though because he's like, I feel good. You never say that out loud. Never say that. I feel good. Everything is good right now. Also like you're hallucinating, but it's even better. Like how like self-evolved is he? He's like. I am seeing
things are all.
He's already seeing the things, devil, but I'm good.
I feel pretty good.
I'm good. Yeah, you good?
Yeah, doing all right.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. So no, it's good. This is a real super fun episode.
Yeah.
Other than that, Dean, I can't believe Dean.
We're so mad at Dean.
We're so mad at Dean, but it was a super fun episode though, right?
Yeah. You want to do some casting?
Yeah, I've got a few things. Got a few things for us.
But you want to tell me about, you have an order. I'm like, just tell me about my hot Osiris is on.
Well, that's what I'm going to start with.
Casting couch. It's the casting couch. Were they on that show that time with that guy? La 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 la.
Osiris is played by Farhan Tahir. They spent a lot of TV, so like single episodes of Law and Order, The Practice, 24. He was actually in several episodes of 24. Charmed, Lost, and The Magicians. Just single episodes on those. He plays Raza in Iron Man, the movie. Captain Rubeau in the Star Trek movie, the 2009 Star Trek movie. President Patel in the movie Elysium. And Captain, in a TV show for reference, and he was Captain Nemo in 3 episodes of Once Upon a Time. Warren, our parolee, was played by Julian Christopher, who confusingly has used 3 other professional names. including Jim Watkins, James Lewis Watkins, and Julian D. Christopher. I just feel like that's challenging for branding. That's my hot, like, professional take for the day. He actually started out in a couple of blaxploitation films in 1972, both Black Gun and Cool Breeze. And then he's been in episodes of everything from Hill Street Blues, Star Trek Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine, Fringe, Once Upon a Time, and X-Files. He was the DA in the film Exorcism of Emily Rose, and was in a recurring character in Smallville as Dr. McIntyre.
So cool.
Mia is played by Emily Ullerup. She's Danish, so she's from Denmark.
You can totally no, she's a hot Nordic woman.
Oh, and her dad is a diplomat and is a lord in the Danish royal family.
Does she have diplomatic immunity?
I don't know. I'm gonna go party with Mia.
The sad thing is Mia would have diplomatic immunity, but I would not. Right, so you don't want to party with her because she'll take stupid risks. Unless you can't take. Not saying that you would. I'm sure you're a very lovely, abiding citizen, but you don't want to party with a person who has diplomatic immunity, and you don't.
So she's in a couple episodes of Battlestar Galactica. It looks like a lot of Canadian TV. Because it was shows I wasn't familiar with. She was in a handful of episodes of Steven Seagal's series in 2011, The True Justice.
I didn't know that was a thing. I was like, that was a phrase that you said. Steven Seagal.
Yeah. Steven Seagal had a TV series called True Justice. She's a character named Dale there's a Hallmark film series, like the series, it's a bunch of films called In the Signed, Sealed, Delivered. So she's in those. She's also done other Christmas movies with Hallmark and non-Christmas. A lot of just Hallmark is involved, including the TV series Chesapeake Shores. She plays Bree O'Brien when that's an ongoing current series on Hallmark. So she's done a pretty good job, especially with the Hallmark world.
Yeah, she was her role was good. She was, and she's
she's a pretty girl.
She's a Danish goddess. Okay, pretty girl.
Yeah, I mean, pretty girl's an understatement. I know. Christopher Fisher is played by Teach Grant. That is the guy that was chased by the dog. He's been in episodes of Fringe. I guess that's probably the one who got
bit on the ass by the dog, right?
I would guess so.
And whatever he has,
so he's been in. You want to see his butt?
Can you show us? No, do not send me a.
No butt pictures, please.
Please, nobody send me a butt picture.
So he's been in episodes of Fringe, Lucifer, Once Upon a Time, iZombie, and he was Henry Bowers in It Chapter 2, and then so the recent film, and then fun fact, he was in a film called Devour with Jensen Ackles.
The Circle of Life.
There we go. That's what we got this week.
Osiris.
Yeah, I'm like almost bummed that Osiris had to go like down.
Hey, he's only like a couple of centuries, right? So maybe there'll be like the next series will be like Space Hunter, like Hunters. Like so Osiris like gets free, like the ram's horn, like I guess it like dissolves, or probably someone finds him like a new horn and gets like flapped off by like a penguin or something, and then it resurrects himself. Oh man, there was so much. But anyways, yeah, this episode, like I thought it was highly enjoyable, and like we got a lot. It's so hard when we have a very driving storyline that we're just ignoring, and we get, but also it's good because I do like the monster of the week.
Yeah, and I like that we're able to still continue to. We didn't gloss over Dean's fuck up and guilt, but we addressed it in a way that was not like okay, but it was entertaining. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we
aren't ignoring the fact of what he did, because not even like killing Amy is bad, but honestly, there can be a million debates about that. Is she a monster? Blah blah blah. But lying to Sam about it, like that's major, and especially when it was a major breach of trust situation, and like they didn't just the writers could have just like, oh, next episode, moving on, which they have done before. But this time they didn't, and it was important.
Well, but I think we're still also getting this. Sam's issues, like, so, like, we have a lot of issues that are happening, right? And so, no, like, we're getting this juggle here, right? So we have Sam's brain's broken. So he's having a serious mental health crisis, and he has found his Band-Aid for now. But he's come to a good place. Like, he's accepting, like, where he is while we're trying to figure out what Leviathan is going on. Well, Dean, though, is still, like, very... It's always so hard when the cat jumps and decides she wants to be a hat. So Dean's guilt over this should be there. Like, it should not go away. It was a shitty thing to do. But also, like, what kind of friend are you? Like, friend or relations you are that you can pretend that is all just not happening and, like, not making your... Like, if I was keeping a secret from Diana that was that big, like, we would know within, like, a second. Like, there would be no way. Like, within, like, 5 minutes, one of us would confess to the other about, like, what was happening, right? Because, or otherwise, it would just be very awkward because you can't be that close to somebody and keep a secret.
And keep that big of a secret and violate their trust that much.
It was like cheating on your partner, right? Like, let's, like, huge. You're really a really good liar, and, like, people who are really, like, that makes you really shittier to me. It's like, if you can cover it up that much.
Cat's on your head. It's so hard to be serious.
Okay. So that was so distracting. So anything else? I mean, like, I will say, I've already warned Diana, I'm very excited for her to see next week's episode. Yeah. And this is why I get torn about, like, I hate season 7, but also I love season 7 because this episode was good. And next week's.
Excited.
All right. Woo, all right. Hear that. We're going to sign off?
Yeah.
All right. Cheers, Jerk.
Cheers, bitch.
Devil's Trap Podcast is a Don't Get It production. Meow.
Devil's Trap Podcast is part of the Ship It Studios podcast network. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Devil's Trap Podcast, Twitter at Devil's Trap Pod, or you can email us at devilstrap@devilstrappodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave reviews, and share with all your friends. We're at all your favorite podcast outlets and at devilstrappodcast.com. I'm Babe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.